Section 1. Topics: 1080 and PAPP Pest Animal Bait Products. Learning Objectives. About 1080. About PAPP. APVMA. Formulations. Restricted chemicals. Schedule 7 poisons. Product labels and safety data sheets. And section summary. Section 1.1. Learning Objectives. This section is a general introduction to 1080 and PAPP Pest Animal Bait Management. It outlines what a 1080 pest animal bait product is and sets out the knowledge required to legally use a 1080 and PAPP bait product. The key concepts in this section include the Australian Pesticides and Veterinary Medicines Authority, the APVMA, registered products. 1080 and PAPP should be used as part of an integrated pest animal control program. And shelf-stable baits, perishable baits, and liquid capsules used in canid pest ejectors. On successful completion of this section, participants will be able to describe the 1080 and PAPP bait product and what forms are available, and explain the legal requirement of persons using 1080 and PAPP pest animal bait products. Section 1.2. About 1080. 1080, or sodium monofluoroacetate, was initially synthesised in Belgium in 1896. In 1943, 1080 was found to occur naturally in plants in several countries, including Australia. In Western Australia, 33 plants are known to contain fluoroacetate, including the genera Gastrolobium and Oxylobium. 1080 is odourless, non-volatile, and virtually tasteless. In its pure form, it is a white powder, while the commercial grade is a bluish-purple powder. As 1080 is very soluble in water, commercial powder easily absorbs water from the atmosphere and becomes sticky. In Victoria, 1080 is registered for the control of a variety of vertebrate pests in Victoria, including rabbits, feral pigs, wild dogs, and foxes. Baits can be applied in the methods prescribed on the product label, which include trail baiting, hand broadcasting, aerial broadcasting, buried bait techniques, canid pest ejectors using liquid capsules. The use of 1080 and PAPP pest animal baits are only one element of an integrated pest management program. Section 1.3. About PAPP. 1080 has been used in Australia since the middle of the last century, and it continues to be a proven tool. But agricultural industries recognised the need for additional control tools. PAPP, or para-aminopropionate, was selected as the next chemical after 1080 to provide the required effectiveness, safety and humaneness for a new bait. Product labels for PAPP were approved in early 2016 for control of dogs and foxes. Toxicity tests showed that dogs were much more susceptible to PAPP than primates, rodents, and other species. This is because dogs, foxes, and also cats metabolize the compound by a different pathway that causes abnormally high concentrations of a metabolite that introduces methaglobin in the blood. This compound does not carry oxygen, so oxygen cannot be delivered to the tissues, leading to unconsciousness and death. This process is considered to be more humane than the effects of 1080. Differentiation of PAPP from 1080 is the inclusion of small marker beads in the baits. Yellow-orange for PAPP, red for 1080. If a dog is presented to a vet, it can be made to vomit, and the nature of the poison can be immediately determined by the colour of the beads. Moreover, dogs that have become ill from other reasons, such as snakebite, will have no beads present. Any compound that reverses methaglobin back to hemoglobin can reverse the effects of PAPP. PAPP acts quickly, so intervention is needed as quickly as possible. Domestic animals suspected of being poisoned by PAPP need to be taken to a vet within 30 minutes. The use of PAPP pest animal baits provides another supplementary element, similar to 1080, for an integrated approach to manage pest management. Section 1.4. APVMA approvals and Agriculture Victoria directions for use for 1080 and PAPP. The Australian Pesticides and Veterinary Medicines Authority, the APVMA, is a government authority responsible for the assessment and registration of pesticides and veterinary medicines and for their regulation up to and including the point of retail sale. When registered with the APVMA, a product label is a legal document. Shelf-stable products containing 1080 are registered for the control of rabbits, feral pigs, wild dogs and foxes, and PAPP is registered for the control of foxes and wild dogs. 1080 and PAPP pose a risk to domestic dogs if they are not used according to the APVMA approved label and the DFU. The use of 1080 and PAPP pest animal baits is one element of pest management and should only be used as part of an integrated pest animal control program. Effective pest animal management requires planning, knowledge of the target species, monitoring, using a range of control tools, and close cooperation with adjoining land managers. Section 1.5 Formulations. Shelf-stable baits which are registered with the APVMA containing 1080 and PAPP include 1080 capsules including the 3 mg 1080 fox dose capsule, 6 mg of 1080 dog dose capsule, Dogabait wild dog bait 1000 mg of PAPP, and Foxacute fox bait 4 mg of PAPP. Perishable fresh or short life baits which contain 1080 are manufactured under permit from the APVMA. As they have a short shelf life, they must be used within 48 hours of purchase. These baits are made by injecting or applying 1080 aqueous solution to carrot, liver or boneless red meat. Examples include liver for foxes and carrot for rabbits. Liquid capsules containing 1080 for use in cannid pest ejectors. These capsules containing 1080 must only be used in cannid pest ejectors. Aqueous solutions used to prepare perishable pest animal bait are classified as dangerous goods, Class 6.1 poisonous and toxic substances. However, ready-to-use 1080 pest animal baits, once manufactured, are not classified as dangerous goods. Section 1.6 Restricted Chemicals. 1080 and PAPP are both restricted chemical products under Commonwealth legislation. This means products can only be supplied to authorised persons. This classification is due to the toxicity to humans and non-target species such as domestic dogs. Section 1.7 Schedule 7 Poisons. Schedule 7 poisons have a high potential for causing harm at low exposure and require special precautions for handling and use. They are available only to authorised persons who have the skills to handle them safely. Section 1.8 Product Label and SDS. It is a legal requirement that all persons using 1080 and PAPP pest animal bait products in Victoria use these products in accordance with the 1080 and PAPP pest animal bait product labels. The direction for the use of 1080 and PAPP pest animal bait products in Victoria, and the relevant safety data sheets. All three items will be discussed in detail throughout this course. An agricultural chemical user permit, an ACUP, is required for purchasing and using restricted chemicals such as 1080 and PAPP. Section 1 Summary. 1080 and PAPP bait products are used to control the pest animals of rabbits, foxes and wild dogs. 1080 and PAPP are restricted chemicals. 1080 and PAPP are Schedule 7 dangerous poisons. 1080 bait products have three forms: shelf-stable, perishable and capsules. PAPP bait products have one form: shelf-stable. It is a legal requirement that all persons use 1080 and PAPP pest animal bait products in accordance with the 1080 and PAPP product labels, the Agriculture Victoria directions for use, and the relevant safety data sheets. 1080 and PAPP bait products are specifically used to control foxes and wild dogs. 1080 bait products are also used to control feral pigs and rabbits. And 1080 and PAPP bait products can pose a risk to domestic dogs.